Hello and welcome. It's a good day to be on the farm. My name is Chuck and this is Riverview Cows, episode 24. And in the last episode, we had done some things with some bales, made sure we got some TMR and got the cows fed. They're currently doing all right. We also bought a seeder a couple of episodes ago and haven't been able to seed yet because it's not time. And there was some discussion about whether or not we should start making TMR bales with the new Go Wheel expansion. But I realized we still have these two swathers because I bought two of them. Because I couldn't, the first one I bought, which was this red one here, didn't actually make it into hay immediately because it's missing the attachment that you can drop off of the other one. And so I'll show you that here in a second, but I just wanted to demonstrate with this swather what this is going to do for us before we sell it or decide if we're going to get back to just one swather or if we're going to get rid of our mowing attachments. So because technically everything that we're doing here with this swather could be done with a mower because we're just making grass, but it'd be a mower and a windrower. And a windrower to make a nice swath for us to go pick up and bale. And so these are obviously going to be grass bales, not bass bales. That would be a very different game. So this makes us a nice swath, as you can see there. And I'm pretty sure, well, I know it is, but I'm going to just prove it to you here. This is grass, harvested grass. And then, so if we use that, we would make grass bales. Grass bales are what we can wrap and make into TMR, which we haven't done in quite a while on this series. So that's kind of the, whoops, I just turned it off. I needed to lower it. So we need some TMR bales to continue to be, or we need some silage bales for TMR. The question was whether or not we were going to make some TMR bales as well when we were doing this with that expansion gadget that I showed. I had a video, I think I talked about it in the last episode, but a video where I just tested the different types of bales we could make, and I did it here on this map, and then I just didn't save it. So in that video on my channel, which I'll try to link in the description if I remember, it basically told you how to make those TMR bales and how to do it here on this farm, which makes a lot of sense because we have all the cows. So anyway, I won't go through all that again, but basically we have two swathers, and so that's kind of what I wanted to focus on, at least at the beginning of this video. Who knows what we'll do once we get the mowing done. Did I miss that spot? I must have missed that spot when I was planting this grass. I guess I don't really even have to pick this up. I can just make this turn like so, and hopefully get it squared away. Well, this thing turns on a dime, which is fine until you start swerving like I just did and kind of mess everything up for your rows. But the nice thing is, again, it puts it in a swath. We can make bales out of it. So I'm going to get this capped off here, and then we'll set this on a worker real quick so I can go demonstrate the other swather and why I think we would need to get rid of one of them, because essentially I bought both of them because we're doing so much grass work here. Let me lift that up so that we can tell when the worker's going, because the worker will automatically lower it to make these swaths for us. So if we get this set up here. Alright, and while we're getting this set up, I'm just going to ask quickly, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And as always, drop me a comment. That really helps. Alright, so this is the other swather that we have. This is the one in the Challenger model. This is the one we used 3 or 4 episodes ago to make that hay that we then baled, and then we dumped a bunch of it in with the calves. So if you can see on the upper left, I'm selecting the tractor, the first thing, which is the header, and the second thing, which is this power. Please lower. Nope. So that drops the whole thing off. I gotta lower it, and then if I come to here, I can drop it. So there, you see that right there? That is the heating coil. And now this looks just like that other swather that we had with just one front attachment. But this heating coil that's underneath there is what turns this one into something special, because that allows this to make hay, because it heats it up and dries it out before it drops it in the swath. So it's all in one pass. So let me just turn that back off. I want to make sure I did. So that's why we've got kind of these. That's why this is the one we're going to keep versus that red one. The red one, when I bought it, it just did not come with that swather expansion, or the heating element expansion for the swather. So, and then here obviously is our silage bales. We do have plenty, but if we're going to start making TMR, which we did in the last episode, we're going to need a lot of these. So where is my tractor? So lastly, if we've got that red swather, it does the same thing as this front mower and back mower that we started the thing with. So if I want to make grass bales, I could theoretically just use the mower that I normally have hooked up here to do that. Let me, I didn't want to switch through all these tractors, but I will. Here's the one I was looking for, the Massey. And it's got this cultivator on the back. So let's drop this off. So I'm going to, oops, a little bit tight turn there. So, and then there's that grass roller, which will come behind and roll once we get these things baled. But if I drop this, yeah, I don't think I'm going to need this. Actually, let's drop this in front of the front windrower, because again, if we're swathing, we're not going to need this windrower for a little while. I don't want to unfold the cultivator. I can't drop it by itself. That's kind of silly. All right, we'll unfold it. Will it still fit through the bars unfolded? I guess it will. And I've got a front weight, so let's drop the front weight. I'm never going to remember where this front weight is. So in like 6 episodes, remind me that's where I left the front weight. Anyway, let's take the Massey in here. And kind of a tight fit with this milk truck sitting there. But we're going to get the front mower attached. And we'll do one field like this as well, because that's really the decision we need to make. This episode is whether or not we want to do this with a swather, or if we want to. Can I even get out of here with the mower on? Yes, I can. All right, I got a 6-point turn here to get the mower attached. And then I got to find that sweet spot where I don't hit the Mack truck on my way out. All right. So there's, I think, another grass field down here that can be mowed. I know I could mow this one on the field 10, but I don't think it's ready. I mean, it's got one more stage it could do, so I don't think it's necessary to mow. We'll get a higher yield if we leave it one more month. But yeah, look, the swather's making quick work of this field and leaving all these rows. I guess the real question is, when we come down here, is can I adjust the swath on here? And I can't remember if it's the coon that you can adjust or if it's not. So let me just back up, turn this on, and then switch to the back mowers, turn that lowered and turned on. So here's our regular mower. And again, it's leaving this wide one, which needs windrowed, which is why we have that windrower. So I just parked in front of that windrower, and I might need it for this if we decide to make grass bales out of this as well. So this is the old way. That swather's kind of the new way. So I could either sell the windrower, the front mower, the back mower, and all that. I was going to pick everything up, but I think I'm just going to turn like this, and we'll just back over it to get a nice clean corner. So yeah, that's basically where we're at, is which mower setup do we want to keep. And again, we have the Challenger swather, which can essentially do the same thing if we just drop that heating element out the bottom. So I guess there's really no reason to have two swathers, even if we liked it. Because if we wanted to just do grass, we could just use the Challenger to do it. So there really is no reason to keep that red one. But then again, this just does make more work. And look at this. We're going 11 miles an hour, which is a decent mowing speed. But let me just switch here. This thing is swathing at 15. And that's why these swathers are real nice to have, because it's going to do it 4 miles an hour faster, as well as saving the windrow step. So again, since we have this mode, we'll probably make hay out of it just by tedding it, since we used to do that. And we have all the equipment for that as well. So again, I've got lots of grass maintenance that needs done on this farm, which is because of all the cows that we need to feed. But again, there's a lot of different ways you can do it, as apparent in what we're talking about in this video. So I'm not going to make you watch me mow this whole thing. Once I get up here, I'll put this one on a worker. We'll go back and turn that swather in, because again, we don't need it. And then we'll decide what the next job is here on the farm. Probably getting the baler out and get those grass bales moved and ready to go. All right, so terrible turn there, but we'll back up, clean that up, and then away we go with the worker. So let me get down here. This guy is just finishing up, so I'll let him finish this row, and then we will unhire him and take this thing down to the shop. Don't know why he slowed down there. All right, so again, you can see this is right where that other worker is mowing down here. And then eventually, when we get everything off, we also need a grass roll to get that fertilization state. And I know you've seen all of that stuff before on Riverview here, but it's kind of what we need to be doing until we're ready to plant. And again, over here on the left, this field 19 is that field that we manured, I think 3 episodes ago. And it's going to be planted with wheat as soon as that's available to us. Once we get to the main road, maybe I'll flip over to the calendar and just double check. I think that's in September. So coming up right around the corner, that we can start the actual planting of everything. But for now, we just need to be wrapping up the grass care and just getting at least one more mow off of the fields that we can, so we can keep those cows fed. And again, I think the only other thing that we need to maybe talk about, or just kind of discuss, is the whole TMR bale thing, because of the bale limit on the console. And again, I do play on a PS5, as I've said in previous episodes, so I can only have 200 bales. And if you're watching my other series, the one where I do everything in time lapse on Western Wilds, that bale limit applies to any size bales. So mini bales, which I didn't realize, as well as full-size bales, round bales, cotton bales, all kinds of bales. So basically 200 bales total, and I have a ton of bales stored up in the shed already. You saw probably 30 silage bales. I've got tons of hay bales sitting around too. And, you know, there's just only so many bales I can hold. So the whole onus of trying to get that machine to make the TMR bales, I'm going to go ahead and repair. We hardly use these things. And then repaint. Seriously, I did $4,000 worth of paint damage. Whatever. Okay, so down to 1,519, and then sell. Sell. All right, that's better. So which, what I use the Volt? No, the Vultra does the rolling. If I'm baling, I need the Kloss, I think. And then I have to find, oh, here's my baler right here. So we'll drive by the shed and I'll just poke my head in and kind of show you all the bales. Is that the TMR, the advantage is right now I'm saving 3 different types of bales to make 1 load of TMR. So here on the left is our silage bales and that 1 grass bale that I have sitting out that I need to wrap yet. And then in here I've got hay bales. Yep, these should be hay. So yep, hay bales and hay bales. And so here's another, I don't know, dozen hay bales plus another dozen in here plus 4 over there. And then also straw bales, which, you know, serve a double purpose here because we have to use them to make the manure, or to help gather the manure. I should say the cows are making the manure, whether or not we use the straw, but we can't gather it without the straw. And also filler for the TMR. So if I mix the TMR myself, I can put it in bales, and instead of storing 3 different types of bales, I can store 1, which is nice. But also it's an extra step. If I'm going to mix the TMR in the wagon, I can literally just dump it straight into either of the cow pens. There's no reason that I would have to store it anymore because the storage is great. Actually, let's just take a look. So here's the young brown Swiss that we just bought a couple episodes ago. They're 1 month old. And look, they've got 75,000 liters of hay, and it's in the red. You can't even tell the difference between that and the TMR in the grass, which is at 0. This can hold many hundreds of thousands of liters of feed. So if I ever had too many hay bales, I could just dump some in here. Same thing up here. We're doing TMR. I made 3 loads of TMR in the last episode. Put them all in here. We have 68,000 liters of TMR, 64,000 liters of hay backing that up once they eat all the TMR. And we're still way down here in the red. So I just can't bring myself to spend $250,000 on that that piece of go wheel equipment to make the bales when I have plenty of storage. I think in other episodes or other series that I've done, the cow pens don't have this much storage. And if the cow pens don't have this much storage, then I don't have anywhere to put all those bales. And then I hit that bale limit. But at this point, anytime I hit the 200 bale limit, it just means I need to take some of the bales that I have existing and I need to dump them off somewhere. Because really, that's the only solution. So I guess I answered my own question. It's just not worth the money for us to purchase that right now. So anyway, we're making our grass bales here while we're letting the worker finish up mowing over there. And again, if we ever need money desperately, we could always sell that mower and that windrower because the swather does all those things for us as well. I just don't want to work that swather into the ground if we don't have to. And it's nice to have a second way to mow or to bale or to whatever if we need to, so that we could do more than one field at once if we needed to. So like in this case, I had the swather going up here and I had the worker with the mower going down there, and we made both of them work out. So, but I'm just kind of rambling at this point. You've seen all this before. Grass bales are important. We're going to wrap some bales here once we're done getting them off the field, but I don't know that we're going to wrap them this episode because, again, by the time we get all this grass gathered up, we will probably be in that 20 to 30 minute range that I normally look for a video anyway. So let me just do a loop here and get lined up for this. Now, this is the one thing, it's not really a complaint per se, but just the one frustrating thing about Farm Sim. You can hire a worker to do pretty much anything except for baling. Like, I can't hire a worker to bale this for me. It just doesn't work like that. All it does is open up the worker tab on the map, which is what you just saw. Normally, if I... Oh, I think I can't. Rolling or bailing up this hill is probably a bad idea. But bailing down the hill works great. So this out of the way up here. All right, so let's pause. I was going to pause, but wanted to get up the hill first once we started going slow there. So this guy is done. I certainly don't need to mow anymore today because we have all this stuff ready to go. I thought there was maybe a path down here, but this one will work just fine. We'll fold that up and fold that up in the front. And then we'll get the tedder down here. And we'll get to tedding all of that into hay, because you never can have enough hay bales. Again, if we're making silage bales, which we are with those grass bales from the first field, we might as well make hay bales out of the second field. Let's see, what is that equipment? This is that harrow, I believe. Yeah, and this is our tedder, right? Yeah, it is. All right, so let's back this in here. Drop that off. Brown, and drop the front off. So these enclosures are so close together, the camera just does not like it when I'm parking and grabbing equipment unless I'm zoomed in like this, which is fine, but does make it sort of hard to see where you're backing up into. So plus I'm not sure this is a great view for a video, but maybe. Let me, oh, come on, hook up. So we're gonna run this back down the hill. And we'll set this guy off to work while we finish baling that top part. Yeah, let's go down here. There's a cut in. Right here. And get that unfolded. So, again, the swather is a much more efficient way to make hay, but just wanted to look at some of the equipment that we have today and decide what we want to do with it while we're waiting for the harvest. All right, and this thing is still baling, right? Let me just see. I'll do one more pass here with the baler, and then that'll actually probably be a wrap for this episode. We're not going to get to grass rolling yet because we need to get all these bales off the field. I'll wrap them in the next video if you guys want to watch that one. You know, start getting the silage wrapped, we'll get them off the field, and we can start grass rolling it here. But there's no reason to make you guys watch me do all this grass work when you've seen it all before. But again, this is the goal is fill up one of those cow enclosures, one of those cow pens. I think it holds 1,000 or 2,000. Again, we have to go back and look. I know I've spoken about it in a previous episode. So if we're going to have that many cows, we're going to have all the feed that can support them. And so we'd have to fill up the food, whether it be hay or TMR, and get some straw in there, which is why we're doing the wheat on pretty much all the fields, wheat and barley, so we can get the straw out. And then we'll be ready to go. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying this episode or this series. This is my best performing series on the channel. I almost let it go when I tried to do a couple of other things and I was cutting back, but the views are just consistent here. So there must be something that you guys like about Riverview that you don't like about the other series, or there's something more interesting here. Maybe it is just can we get to the 1,000 cows or the 2,000 cows? Or maybe you guys just really like grass work. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.